Hey, hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Arrigo Martelli and today's video is about Jeff Beck, the great Jeff Beck, who sadly passed away last month in January 2023. We're big fans of Jeff Beck here, and he's been such a great artist who's inspired guitarists since the 1960s. So when thinking about this video, this was the main idea. If you had never played a note of Jeff Beck music, where would you start? And I thought I would probably start from the Yardbirds, from the early Jeff Beck style, which is a bit more approachable than his later compositions and music, where he developed his own style and it became very unique and hard to emulate, and that's the reason why we love him so much. So I picked Heartful Soul, which is a cool song that he recorded with the Yardbirds, and I hope you enjoyed the performance. And if you did, please keep watching, because there will be a short tutorial on how to play the intro and the solo from the song. Let me show you one thing. A few years ago, I built myself a Jeff Beck guitar. And if you're familiar with Blow by Blow album, you probably know that he recorded Cause We Ended as Lovers with a similar guitar to this one. This is a Telly Gibb, which is the nickname that Seymour Duncan gave it, similar to the one that again Seymour Duncan presented to Jeff Beck while he was recording the album. And as you can see, it's basically this was an American standard Telecaster, and I installed the Gibson pickups, the humbuckers, and I had to cut the bridge. So I just tried to build myself a similar guitar to the one he was using, just to show that we're big fans and I always enjoyed his music. Anyway, let's go on with the tutorial and see you next time. Okay, let's start and have a look at the intro and the solo and how Jeff Beck played them on the original track. So the intro is fairly simple. That's the idea, and he plays it I think 4 times total. And basically it just consists of 3 notes. This is the low D on the 4th string, ta-da-dun, and then he goes D, D, C, D, C, D, C, back on the low D string. So it's really 3 notes, D, C, E. Obviously he plays it with what they're trying to do here from what I read, and there's also a couple of interviews online where Jeff Beck himself shows and tells about when they recorded the song. They were going for this kind of a Indian sitar type of phrasing and sound, and I think they even had an actual sitar player who wouldn't or couldn't play this intro with the normal like 4/4 straight beat. So Jeff Beck apparently showed him how to play it, and he figured out, well, I might as well play it myself, and that's how we got this famous intro. So I'll show you slowly. So you start on the D string, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go to the 3rd string, and you will be playing on the 3rd string only. D, C, D. 7th fret and 5th fret, and then there's the bending, and here is where if you listen closely to the recording, you'll hear a lot of different nuances. Sometimes he bends, it sounds like it's a pre-bend. Sometimes you can hear like the slur, but most of the time the way he plays it is like this. Kind of a quick bend from D to E, so it's a full step bend. You go back to D, C, D, C, the same ta-da-down figure. stronger on the low fourth string. One thing I forgot to mention, when you bend the string, the third string, you have to bend it downward and not upward. Why? Because if you do it upward, you will inevitably mute the fourth string. Whereas what you want here is the fourth string drone sound. Okay? Presumably to, imitate again the sitar, the drone strings of the sitar, and you play this four times. At the beginning of the song, the last time he does it is where you can hear the fourth time he does a slower bend, so you can hear like the D string reaching the pitch, the high E, but the other three times just and that's the famous intro again. D D C D E D C D C D D D. In my version, I decided, since I'm using like a drop D tuning in a way, I kind of did this. So I played the same idea, one octave lower, and I added the low D string. Actually, I got this idea from a surf version, instrumental version of this song that I found. You can find on YouTube by, I think, a Singaporean band, surf band from the 60s, where they do Heartful Soul. And so as a nod, I decided, well, I'll incorporate that in my video, and it would be cool to add that for a little bit of variety. If you want to play it, it's just... There's like a grace note here, a little bit of vibrato. So that's basically the intro. As far as the solo is concerned, we're in 10th position. It's a minor pentatonic solo, basically. So, 4 short phrases. The first phrase is which is just a straight ahead pentatonic. Taken from the minor pentatonic scale. It's a very bluesy lick. Starts on the D here, 12th fret. D, D, F, G, 10, 12 on the third string. F, D. Make sure you bend this F slightly. It's kind of a blues bend, quarter tone bend, if you want to be exact. And add a bit of vibrato on the long D note. So this is the first part, the first phrase. And then you have, again from the D, starts the same way. D, D, F, G, same frets, 12, 10, 12. Then you have a full step. So C, D. Okay. In this case, you can just bend upward with an upward motion. add your fourth finger on the C, on the second string. And then you have E on the top string, 10th fret. D note, yeah. Okay, so these are the first 4 bars. Then it just restarts, same as the first phrase. Only this time, I think, from what I hear, he had a hammer on from 10 to 12. But this is the same 4 notes that we heard the first time around. And then the end, there's a slight variation. There's a C sharp that goes to D, 11, 12 with a hammer on. And you end with 2 full step bends on the 3rd string from G to A. And then you go back to the chorus. So to recap, here's the whole solo, and I'm playing it with a clean sound, but obviously in the recording you have a distorted sound. Probably is played through some kind of fuzz, maybe a super fuzz or a tone bender, considering when and where it was recorded. So here's the solo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that's about it. Solo and intro. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.